someday. If y'all will join me in this song, we shall overcome. We shall, if you would stand with us, overcome. We shall overcome someday. Say, deep in my heart, deep in my heart, I do believe, that we shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. And we'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand today, someday. Say, deep in my heart, I do believe, that we shall overcome someday. And we in this room are not afraid. We are not come on, you can sing it out. Say, we are not, say, we are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I've got to believe, I do believe. Say, we shall overcome someday.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight for the One Wake annual meeting. I am Pastor Athena. I'm one of the pastors here at Christ the King Lutheran Church in Cary, North Carolina. We are honored to host this event. We're honored to be part of One Wake, or as Stefan would like to remind us, we are One Wake together. And so we are thrilled about that. Glad you're all here tonight. A couple of housekeeping things. There's coffee right outside the doors to the left. Help yourself, and tea as well. The restrooms over here are being renovated right now, so if you need a restroom, you can go out and to the left, and there's restrooms. We also have all gender restrooms on the other side of the building, and there are ushers who can help you find those if you seek them out in the narthex. That's all for housekeeping. I'd love to open us in prayer this evening, so let's pray. Gracious God, we give you thanks for this day, all the people gathered here today, God, for One Wake. Thank you for the difference that we make and can make in our community, God. Continue to nudge us and push us to a more just and equitable way, God. Help us to use our voices, collective, to make a difference. Help us to use power to make a difference in our community, God. All guided by you. Lead our steps and lead us together. It's in your name we pray. Amen. I'd like to introduce Reverend Donna Battle about why we are here.
Thank you, Reverend Athena. Again, my name is Donna Battle. I am at Southeast Raleigh Table, and I am a member of our campaign action team. The late freedom fighter Assata Shakur once said, "Freedom is never freely given. It is fought for, it is won, and secured." And so we begin tonight's assembly in the reality of this truth, This is a meeting of the One Wake's Countywide Leaders Caucus, One Wake's primary decision-making body that is made up of every core team from our institutional membership base. We usually would say composed of 47 congregations, mosques, synagogues, nonprofits, and neighborhood associations across Wake County, which represent over 50,000 people. However, we took a close look at our active member institutions and realized that about 5 of those institutions have not been active within One Wake. We plan to reach out to those institutions and learn what is keeping them from being engaged. We understand that if you are not growing, you are declining. And so we plan to do our due diligence to get those institutions active again, as we also work diligently to recruit again other member institutions or other institutions to join our membership across the county and increase our power. You are welcome to helping us recommend others that we should be talking to, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later this evening. Tonight's assembly is another key moment in One Wake's current cycle of organizing. This year, we went from 2 full-time organizers to 1 part-time organizer and just 1 full-time organizer. With that reduction in staff, we pivoted to focus solely on our home ownership to equity campaign, our Nehemiah housing. Let me remind you why this campaign is so important. In One Wake, there is a deficit of approximately 65,000 units of affordable housing. Black households in Wake County and across North Carolina claim only about 13% of the wealth and approximately 4% of the net worth of white households. Today, these inequities persist. In Raleigh, today, homes owned by Black people are valued at 15.5% less than those owned by white people, all things being the same. Today, the continued rise of housing prices across Wake County serves as another form of redlining, blocking access to build wealth, and forcing many Black and brown people to purchase homes outside of Wake County. This weakens Black and brown neighborhoods, institutions, and political power. For example, in the historically Black College Park neighborhood in Raleigh, the percentage of Black residents dropped from 89% to 56% over the last decade, while the number of white residents grew 400%. This is a justice issue that has a long history in this country, state, county, and municipalities in which we are organizing our people and money power to make large-scale, meaningful change. The reality is Black and brown people are and have been the primary recipients of these injustices, and we have a call to acknowledge these truths and apply action to our faith. We have made great progress on our campaign, which will help to increase the inventory of affordable housing units with our goal of building 1,000 affordable homes and 1,000 units of affordable apartments. We are experiencing greater recognition from elected officials and others. For example, an example of this would be this year, 6 Raleigh City Council members and 2 county commissioners attended One Wake's tour to see the thousands of affordable units in one Nehemiah community that our sister organization in Brooklyn built. We invited them so they could see One Wake's vision. In the past, only 1 elected official attended when we invited them. An increase from 1 to 8 elected officials is recognition. For the second time, 2 years in a row, we were able to gather more than 1,000 people in Watts Chapel Missionary Baptist Church for our accountability assembly. Give yourselves and those who attended a round of applause. Perhaps next year we aim for 1,500. Because there were people who attended who were unable to make it into the parking lot, much less the building. If we are not growing, we are declining. Last month, One Wake leaders met at our retreat and took a step closer to being more of a leader-led organization by putting teams together to help increase our capacity to do this work. We will also hear from leaders representing One Wake's new research action teams later this evening. Your assistance will be welcomed if you are familiar with doing research or simply interested in doing research. We will share more about the retreat and the development of these teams in just a bit. We do not just organize our people, we also organize money as a power organization. And with the current affairs in this country, we see just how important it is not to be dependent upon money from external sources. Not only will we discuss our One Wake budget in a few moments, you will also hear ways in which you can contribute to making One Wake a stronger organization financially. And finally, members of the strategy team will present a strategic plan, budget, and the strategy team slate for your review and ratification. The proposals, plan, budget, and slate have been emailed to all who registered in advance. What you'll hear tonight reflects these materials. My friend and colleague, Reverend Shalise Overy, will come now and offer strategic plan proposals.
Thank you, Reverend Battle. I'm Shalise Overy. I'm the associate pastor at Pullen Memorial Baptist Church in Raleigh. So I want to present briefly on the proposed 2026 strategic plan for One Wake, our organization. This will be the framework for the issue campaign and the action proposals that you will hear after me. The full strategic plan proposal, as Reverend Battle said, was sent out in advance. But this year, we're proposing a bit of a pivot in which we're asking our leaders to be more active within the organization. And this is not just because of changes in staffing, as you heard about, but it's also a response to your questions like, what can we do in between these large assemblies to be active and engaged and involved? So this plan imagines 2026 in 3 parts. The period between now and June focused on fundraising and organizing our research teams to collect data. What is that data going to do? That data is going to help us build more power with an emphasis on building that power throughout multiple municipalities in Wake County. It is going to help us to locate land and funds for affordable housing, and that research will help us be most effective when we approach our elected officials, because we are asking for their support, but we're not asking them to do everything, and we want to come to them with a plan. So the first part is between now and June. Then the second part, the summer period between June and August, will be focusing on strengthening the core teams within our congregations and preparing for the fall election season. We want to elect candidates in Wake County and all its municipalities that will support large-scale affordable housing initiatives. And finally, the final period is that the fall period between next September and December, which will be focused on, as Reverend Battle said, a very, very large, nonpartisan assembly with candidates for Raleigh City Council and the Wake County Board of Commissioners. So that's a lot, right? We're just going to focus on the first chunk of it this evening. That from this point into the spring of next year. So you'll hear several proposals for action that all relate to budget processes in Cary, raising and preparation for the fall elections. So I want to invite my colleague, Reverend Wesley Newsom Spears, with our first call to action.
Thank you, Shalise. I am Wesley Spears Newsom from Greenwood Forest Baptist Church, just down the street here in Cary, and I have a confession for you all here tonight. I really love political candidate assemblies. And let me tell you why. It's not just because I'm a nerd, though I am. I do enjoy policies and all of those kind of things. But what I love most about these candidate assemblies is something I saw in the very first candidate assembly we held in Cary. This was back when we were still on Zoom at the height of the pandemic. We had meetings with candidates before the assembly and told them our proposals. We had one candidate who was an incumbent tell us that what we were asking was impossible and that it was not something that could happen in Cary. And then when this candidate came on to our virtual stage, not even one of our big 1,000 persons actions, just on our virtual stage, and saw how many hundreds of people we had on the call, suddenly our proposals were possible. And suddenly we were receiving commitments to the things that we wanted to see done in Cary. And that has been the story of so many things that we have organized for as One Wake. Just in Cary alone, we were told millions in the budget year after year for affordable housing was impossible. But guess what? There's millions and millions of dollars in the budget for affordable housing right now. We were told that there just wasn't anything we could do for our neighbors in Chatham Estates who needed funds to be able to relocate when land was sold out from under them. But now there's money out there for our neighbors at Chatham Estates. They said the same thing about housing plans, about ADUs, about all of these other things that were impossible to do in Cary, but we have proven them wrong over and over and over again because what we do works. Building power works. One Wake regularly holds the largest political assemblies in Cary. There's nobody else who really comes close to the numbers that we have. So we have to live up to our reputation. It would be really embarrassing if we didn't live up to our reputation. So on Saturday at 10 in the morning over at Cary Presbyterian Church, I want to see all of you there to hold our candidates accountable to the issue of affordable housing. We've chosen to approach things a little bit differently this year because who got a bigger tax bill this year? Ollie did, right? I know I did. That's happening, and sales tax revenue is also harder to come by, and because we already all got larger tax bills, the town doesn't want to mess much with money right now. Money may be short, but changing the rules is free, is what we decided. So we're going to ask them to change some of the rules. So we've spent part of this year researching and asking experts, asking our own people, what is needed to change the rules in Cary so that we can get more affordable housing here. And we like to tell candidates and elected officials that everybody can come to you with problems, but we don't come to you with problems, we come to you with solutions. So we have 5 solutions that we're asking candidates to commit to this Saturday. The first one, broadly speaking, is we want Cary to take a close look at town-owned land. That's land they don't have to pay for, that could become land for affordable housing. We're asking them to commit to existing affordable housing proposals, one of which, a new friend we made, named George Bailey, is trying to build an affordable housing development on 77777 Reedy Creek Road. And we want them to support him doing that. Third, we want to see what we're calling a gentle density amendment, which would allow builders to build more than one house on a plot of land. Because right now, does anybody live inside the Maynard Loop in this room? Like, there's a thing that's happening inside the Maynard Loop where they're buying up the starter homes that we started and they're building these giant houses that don't fit with anything and are super expensive. And we thought, well, they do that for a reason. Let's give them a reason not to. What if they could build 2 homes there instead of 1? 2 starter homes instead of a mansion. So we're asking them to change the rules to allow for that, because believe it or not, you can't do that in Cary without doing a lot of work. Fourth, we're asking them to provide some predictable incentives for building affordable housing in Cary. We're not asking for anything legally binding, but we want to know that when a developer comes to the table, if they come with 15% of their housing dedicated to affordability, that they'll be able to do that and they'll get something in return. And then finally, who was disappointed when that bond didn't pass last year? But it was close, right? It was real close. So we're asking to do it again. We're saying in 2027, we want them to go for another housing bond, and we're going to show up and make sure this one passes. So those are the 5 things that we're going to ask these candidates to commit to. We're going to have a report card, just like we did at our Raleigh assembly this summer, and we're going to write down who said yes and who said no. And we're going to share that with everybody we know. And immediately after that, we're going to walk from Cary Presbyterian to the polls, because there's nothing more powerful than a politician knowing they can come talk in front of you and you can go vote right after you heard from them. They'll be more inclined to agree to something when that happens. So that's what we're going to do. And I believe that these kind of things we're working on as an organization can really make a lot possible here in Cary. And I believe we have the power to change the way things are done. We've already done it so many times, and I think we can do it again. And I think this assembly is our opportunity to prove it. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Stefan Whitley. I'm the lead organizer for One Wake. I come up here at this moment as Reverend Wesley Spears Newsom hype man, sort of, kinda. And because I want to stress the importance of what he's saying and asking us to do, which is turn out in large numbers this coming Saturday. I also want us, as Reverend Athena hinted on, to understand that we are One Wake, right? Your institution is not working with One Wake. You are not working with One Wake. This is your institution. But that doesn't separate if you live in Raleigh, Cary, Fuquay, wherever you live. How we're perceived in Cary is how we will be perceived everywhere else. And so it's important for us to show out in droves, to, as Reverend Wesley Spears Newsom spoke about, to continue to live up to that idea of what people are seeing and thinking of us as One Wake, so that we have a reputation that actually precedes us. You do that by continuously showing up time and time again. Very briefly, to summarize what was being said and what was being asked of, in this work, we like to call these events actions. And when we have an action and we come together collectively with a large amount of people, we have actions to see a specific reaction. And the reaction we want to see is we want to see our elected officials in Cary understand that One Wake has again shown up in large numbers. Therefore, they need to work with us, right, on all the things that we ask for. The difference between elected officials saying yes to something and changing their mind from what they might feel that they want to do and actually doing the things that we ask for oftentimes depend on how large and how strong we show up. And so on Saturday, I will be with you all. I don't want to just see folks from Cary. I want our folks from Raleigh, from every single municipality that we are part of, understand that this is not a Cary action. This is a One Wake action. Therefore, this is an action of yours because this is your organization. Can I get everyone to show up this coming Saturday? I'm going to challenge you even further, and then I'm going to walk and step down and sit back in my seat. But I keep saying that I do not want to see us go into things alone. This is organizing. Organizing means two or more people coming together collectively to make a change. And so before you decide to come alone, if you have a partner, bring your partner, it's date day, right? If you have a child, bring your children because you're showing them what it looks like to make change, and you're starting to ingrain in them a certain culture that they can expect and respect and become a part of. And so do not just show up, although that is great by yourself. Reach out, bring your mate, your family member, your brother, your sister, your children, your friends, your neighbors. Bring as many people as you can, and we hope to see you all there, and we're looking to making great changes with you all. Thank you. Next up, we have Dr. Rose.
Good evening, everyone. Typically, this is the favorite part of a church service when you ask for an offering, but I'm not going to ask for an offering, and we're not going to pass any offering trays. But I do want to say a few words about One Wake's financial needs. One Wake is a nonprofit that has to raise money to meet our budget. Our member organizations pay dues, but their dues only cover about half of our budget. So that means we must raise money through individual donors and through grants. Now, how many of you know that nonprofits all over America have lost state and federal funding and are scrambling to make ends meet by writing grants to some of the same foundations we are approaching for money? At the same time, need has skyrocketed. And add to that, some foundations are tightening their belts, and some have even begun to restrict their giving to organizations such as ours that assist the poor and the marginalized and people of color. That's where we can make up the gap. I encourage those of you who can afford to give to One Wake to be generous. Donations from individual donors made up about 14% of our budget last year. Those donations came from 60 people. Many gave a one-time gift, but most gave more than one gift. So first of all, I'd like to thank all of the people who gave a one-time gift. You helped us achieve so much this year for people who are struggling in this community. And whether you gave a one-time donation of $5 or $1,000 or more, One Wake is stronger because of your donation. Next, I'd like to say something to people who gave every month through a recurring donation. Now, whether you know it or not, our national parent organization matched every one of those dollars, dollar for dollar. So giving every month meant that whatever you gave, it was doubled. That means if you gave $10 a month, how much would that mean? 20. If you gave $15 a month, how much would it really mean? 30. And I believe in leaders leading by example. As founding co-chair of One Wake, I would be a hypocrite if I asked you to do something that I wasn't doing. And I've been giving a recurring gift ever since we started this program. And why do I do that? Because I want us to continue doing what we're doing. Just think about what we've been able to accomplish in just a few short years. One Wake has become one of the most impactful advocacy groups for affordable housing, not just in Wake County, but in all of North Carolina. Affordable housing units are being built and continue to be built as a result of our work in advocacy. We've done so much with so few resources. Imagine what we could do if we could hire another staffer to organize people across Wake County. I hope you will help us as we go forward. The stakes couldn't be higher. This is an interesting time. It's a troubling time. It's a time like most of us have never seen before. I challenged people, and I was talking to another group. I said, just consider where we were last October. We were contemplating a tight presidential race. DEI was still very much a part of most programs at schools and companies. The National Guard showed up in catastrophic events. And look at how far we've come in just 12 short months. The needs are great, and they're going to increase. People are being laid off, they're being displaced, they're being destabilized. There's a need for One Wake, and there's a need for us to be stronger, and there's a need for our politicians to listen even more acutely to what we are saying. That's why we do what we do. So if you can help, we would appreciate it. And especially if you could consider becoming a recurring donor. In the coming months, we will have a gathering to acknowledge all of our donors and personally thank them in person. We've also formed a fundraising committee, and if you'd like to be a part of that committee, please see me or Stefan. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your consideration.
Unfortunately, I'm back again. If we hire another organizer, as Dr. Rose was speaking about, you wouldn't have to keep seeing my face up here. Seriously, right now I want to speak to you all about something that I think is very important in the work that we do, which is being trained up to understand this work of organizing. In this work, we often have trainings, 1 day, 2, 3 days, 5-day trainings, and 7-day trainings. I want to raise up something that is very important and a milestone that we hit as One Wake as an organization collectively. One Wake is a part of Metro IF as a parent organization, which is nationwide, considered the best organizing organization in this country doing this work that we do. And they've been doing this for over 80 years throughout the country. And this past summer, One Wake sent 16 of our members to be trained for 7 days, which was a record surpassing by far any record of amount of people from a certain organization that showed up to 7-day training. So first of all, I want to give everybody a hand of applause. As was spoken about, we're a very new organization, a very young organization, but we're making great strides to do things that we've done so far. The recognition, the being trained up, and me as a lead organizer, having conversations with those folks who went through that 7-day training and seeing the difference in them, whether it's the desire to do more, the understanding of what it actually means to organize and what it takes to get things done, is refreshing. We are having a 3-day training, God willing, North Carolina 3-day training with our sister organizations. And I had a conversation with the lead organizers from those organizations, and we came up with a number of possibly how many folks we look to have at that 3-day training, which will be in January, and I'll give the dates in a moment. My point for mentioning that is, through the conversations I had with them, the realization was One Wake is doing a lot right now. And we're organizing very strongly, so we would need a large amount of those number of seats in that 3-day training. We thought that at maximum we would like to have about 60 people, no more than 70, ideally, at that 3-day training for the 4 organizations. And I basically was able to talk to our sister organizations here to get them to say that we can have about 35 to 40 of those slots. That's huge. That's about 75%, no, 66.6%. Let me stop being a math nerd, right? Showing my nerdism a little bit. But the bottom line is we're able to get a lot of those spaces, and it's important for us to sign up for that 3-day training as soon as possible. So I want to give you those dates so you can put them on your calendar. There also will be on the QR code or on our website where you can sign up for that 3-day training. And those dates will be January 29th through 31st. And the time slots will be January 29th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then on the 30th, January 30th, it will be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I believe on the 31st, it will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So again, we have 40 slots, first come, first serve. If you've done 3-day training before, I would ask that you give it maybe a month or so and see if there's extra slots. Let folks go up first who haven't done 3-day training. However, I will say it is important to redo training because you'll learn things you didn't learn prior, as well as I've heard folks say, hey, why are we doing this again? We've already heard this information. My response to you, if that's your thought pattern, can you teach this yet? And if you cannot teach it to folks, then you still have work to do in learning. Does that make sense? Great. With that, I want to call up our next person who will be, is that Donna Battle? Great.
All right, we organizing these teams, so you don't have to see my face as much either. So during our Key Leaders Retreat in September, we launched 5 new research action teams. And these teams are intended to help us organize internally in order to strengthen our strategy and move towards our winnable goals. So those teams are, the 5 new teams are land acquisition, internal fundraising, municipalities research, bond referendum, and campaign fundraising. The 6th team was already established, which is our clergy and key leader caucus. And so our clergy and our key leaders will be focused on broadening our base of member institutions. So we are the ones who will be strategizing and creating action steps towards meeting with new pastors and new leaders and new organizations to invite them to the table with us. So if you believe that you have some folks that we should be adding to that list, please feel free to see any of us. So if you're here and you're a part of our clergy caucus or our key little caucus that meets on a monthly basis, could you stand for me? Any of us can take, great. See, look at all this abundance up in here. So please, any of these folks can take down the name of a pastor, the name of an institution, and we will start to do the research around that. So what we have, though, are we have representatives from the other 5 new teams that are here ready to share about their role, their team's role in this campaign. And so I'm going to call them up one by one. And so the first of these teams will be our land acquisition team. So Mr. John Fleming is going to come and share with you about this team.
Good evening, everybody. So as Pastor Donna said, my name is John Fleming. I'm a member here at Christ the King Lutheran Church, so I'm also going to add my welcome along with Pastor Athena and the rest of our team to come, and we welcome you here tonight. We are pleased to host this annual meeting. So I am here to report on the goals of the land research team. Right now, we have a team of 12 strong people, and we've had one meeting, and we've basically been able to put our plans together and our goals under the leadership of Mary Kent's over here. So here's a summary of what we are shooting to do right off the bat. First of all, we wanted to develop an inventory of 5 to 20 acre plots of undeveloped or stalled developed land. We need to know who owns it, how does it fit any suitability standards that we might have, what are the current plans for the land, and it also includes looking more into the Ranley tract that's already been identified. And to that end, Pastor West, we're going to be listening very closely to the first question you're going to be asking the candidates on Saturday to identify land around Cary here. So, secondly, we're going to develop relationships with other entities who've already done this research. I don't need to plow that land twice, I guess. That's sort of a double entendre, I guess. such as staffers in the town planning departments or Habitat for Humanity or other nonprofit organizations. And finally, we're going to work with the clergy team to inquire about church land ownership because, as we know, again, Pastor West says he can tell us how that could be put to use. So we're already started. We've already got another meeting scheduled to go. So even with the 12 people who are currently on our team, we could use more curious minds. And frankly, okay, I'm a little biased, but I've got to say this is the most exciting team, you know, if you want to simply. So no expertise is required. We just, you need to be willing to look at maps, maybe drive around a little bit, and just, you know, question about how land is used. So if you're interested, please let Stefan know, or Mary Kentz, who's hiding behind the camera in the back there, or me, and we'll be glad to work with you. So next, I think, Connie Orlander will come up and explain to you our research team for the internal fundraising. Is that right? Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Connie Orlander from White Plains United Methodist Church here in Cary, and I'm also a member of the internal fundraising team. So we have in the internal fundraising team a big assignment, and that is to increase the One Wake internal operations budget so that we can increase our capacity to do organizing work. We are working hard as a team to do that in several ways. First, one important task that we have is to maintain and actually increase donor contributions. So tonight, we are asking you, sitting here, if you can donate to One Wake. A monthly contribution in any amount is crucial to our cause. Right now, as you've heard, Metro Industrial Areas Foundation will match recurring donations, and so that's something that we, obviously prefer, but one-time donations are fantastic as well. Now, if you're already giving to One Wake, we're asking, could you increase your donations this coming year, say maybe by $5 per month? A second task that we have is to do some research with grant funding and grant opportunities. And I have a question for you out here. Could there be any sources of grants within your church's national or state organizations? I ask, consider chatting with your pastor and delving into that. And if you have any grant writing experience, we would love for you to come join us and at least talk with us. We'd love to have some experience with that. We are also seeking some other ways to raise funds for the organization, and that includes collaborating with the external fundraising team. We could use a few more hands on deck here. We're looking for volunteers to assist with some ideas, and specifically, we're looking for volunteers who can help with phone banking efforts to reach out to our generous donors, mostly to say thank you. It's not anything more than that. If you're passionate about our cause and have some time to spare, we'd love for you to join our team. I think there may be a sign-up sheet in the back, or just come talk to me. We've got a couple of our team members who are on Zoom, and maybe Susan is here. I see Susan as well. Remember, your direct contributions to One Wake are invaluable. Did you know that grants almost never cover operational costs except in very restricted amounts? That means that there is an immediate need to not only raise funds for 2026, but also to increase the funding over last year so that we can hire another organizer to do the operational work of One Wake. In the season of giving that's coming up, we gratefully ask for your support, and if you want to know how to do that, get a pen and paper and write this down. www.onewake.org/donation. And you'll get to a page that's going to look very familiar to many of us who donate online. We're happy to have your contributions anytime, but we certainly are encouraging you to go online this October, November, early December to make those pledges. Thank you.
First of all, I'm happy to climb up those stairs without falling, so that's a positive. Hi, my name's Paul Williams. I'm a member of St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church in North Raleigh, and I'm the co-chair of the Municipality Research Committee, along with Ruth Demby, the other co-chair from Southeast Raleigh Table. We have 13 members on our committee, representing 11 of our institutions. Last Tuesday, October 14th, we had our first meeting online to discuss our first goal. Our first goal is to be able to summarize each institution's membership by town so that when we have an action in one of these towns in Wake County where we don't have a member institution, we can reach out to those of our members who live in those towns and ask them if they'd be interested in participating in that action. Our committee, as I said, represents 11 institutions, so we also need to be able to reach out to the other 30-plus member institution to ask them for their data as well, and then we will present that to the strategy team. Once we see where our members are located, we will do power analysis on each of these towns to help us find the power players and then start building relationships. And lastly, we are forming a subcommittee of about 2 to 3 members to develop our mission and vision statements as we better define our goals. If your institution is not represented on our committee and you would like to be, please reach out to me or to Stefan tonight or sometime soon so that we can get that person plugged into our committee. In any case, all our member institutions will be contacted, and our next meeting will be in mid-November. Thank you very much.
Good evening, One Wake. I'm Nancy Dilger. I'm the core team leader for St. Francis of Assisi in North Raleigh, and I also serve on your strategy team for One Wake. So during our July action, there were 1,000 One Wake members that participated. Please raise your hand if you were there at Watts Chapel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was an amazing day for us to come together and show our power. And collectively, we asked the city of Raleigh to implement a new $200 million housing bond referendum. 5 of the elected officials said yes. 3 said no. The 5 officials that said yes are truly committed to building affordable housing in Raleigh, which is wonderful news. The 3 that answered no simply explained that they needed more research. They needed to know exactly what size housing bond would be most likely to entice Raleigh voters to vote yes. So, of course, you know what came next. The One Wake Housing Bond Research Team was formed. And my fellow colleagues have all pleaded for you to join theirs, so I am here to say that we are a very small but mighty team. But if you have any interest in joining or any background in government workings, we have met one time. And we have the next meeting planned. And we're basically doing research on what has worked in the past, what hasn't worked in the past. What do we need to do to bring this vital housing bond to fruition for Raleigh, which will not just, of course, help Raleigh, but all of Wake County. God knows no boundaries. And our teachers, our firefighters, they help the entire county. So our plan for the research team is we're gathering information, both for One Wake and for the city of Raleigh. Number one, why is this bond referendum so vital for our community's health? We'll present that to the city of Raleigh. And number two, how can we work together to win yes votes in 2026? Sorry, I should have brought a water up. And then once we collect all that data and research, we will present that to the city of Raleigh. And then we will turn the proposal for the housing bond into a reality. So thank you very, very much. If you have an appetite to do this work, please contact me, Stefan. And thank you for all you do, because we are One Wake. God bless.
It's me again. I thought about changing my jacket and putting a hat on to try to trick y'all. So I am here very briefly, as was spoken about with these research teams. Some of them are plentiful. I believe that John spoke about his team having 12 people, which is great. The team that Nancy Dilger is a part of, I think y'all have 4 now, correct? 3, 4. And I'm here on behalf of the campaign fundraising team. We have an internal fundraising team, but we also have a campaign fundraising team. And the importance of this campaign fundraising team, there's a very small team of 3, one of them being a pastor, so that's really like 2, right? Because pastors are extremely busy now that I'm learning this work. But this small group of people definitely needs assistance. And the reason for the help and why we're trying to do research on campaign fundraising, meaning fundraising for this affordable housing that we're trying to do, is because we looked at what worked with our sister organization, which is Nehemiah. When Nehemiah was working to build to build Nehemiah homes in Brooklyn, East Brooklyn congregations, they actually went to elected officials saying, hey, we raised $8 million to build affordable housing. What are you going to do? And I think this is the year in which One Wake, as an organization, we come together and see how can we start raising money to start taking and putting a pool of money together for our elected officials to say, this is what we have. This is how we have skin in the game. What will you do to assist? That being said, that is the importance of this group of researchers, and we need help for them. So whomever is here that can be a part of that group, or you know someone else who is good at research, who is possibly interested, please let them know that we're looking for help in that group as well. You can reach out to me, you can email me, or just anyone who you know from your lead strategy team members or strategy team leaders or core team leaders. Thank you very much. And and I'm not coming back up here again. So y'all don't have to worry about seeing my face again, I hope. And so the next person we'll have up will be our strategy team co-chair, Reverend Royce Halfcock.
Good evening. Good evening, One Wake. It's good to be with family that is ready and is doing business that's serious. Good evening. My name is Royce, Reverend Royce Hathcock. I'm the pastor at Tapestry Church of the Nazarene in the South Park neighborhood of Raleigh. And I also serve as the executive director for Neighbor Outreach. I am honored to be on the strategy team as co-chair. This team, the strategy team, it's responsible for helping shape direction of One Wake, developing proposals, and for our organizing goals, overseeing fiscal responsibility, and evaluating our progress as we grow. This happens through listening sessions with our member institutions, as well as we look at the signs of the times in our world and community. Tonight, you've heard a bunch of exciting proposals, action teams that are competing for your membership, and I love that, and even having their own mission statements. Watch out. And it makes me think about a couple of quotes. I think about Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will." And what that means is, what we've heard tonight is not just ideas. We're not just talking in the air. These are demands for justice in our neighborhoods, in our cities and towns, and in our county for dignity, honor, respect, equity, and affordable housing. That's exciting work, and it's a marathon. And they're not just going to give it to us, as Frederick Douglass said. We have to demand it, and it will not be conceded, and it never will without that work. Oscar Romero said, "It is not enough to pray for the oppressed, but we must act to change their condition." I'm thankful to be a part of people that are doing that work and willing to suffer with to the point of solidarity and make that transformation. Tonight, my purpose up here is definitely not to preach, but my purpose is our final item of business tonight is to really present to you our strategy team slate as well as the 2026 proposed budget. If you pre-registered, you received that, and you were able to take a look at that, and there's also a handout, I believe. As I mentioned, the strategy team serves as One Wake's corporate board and as the executive committee to the county-wide Leaders Caucus, which is our primary decision-making body. We ensure that One Wake's organizing goals are strategic and sustainable, that our fiscal oversight is sound, and that we're building long-term capacity for justice in this county. This year, we've had some challenges, as we've mentioned. Our strategy team faced some real challenges. A few of our top leaders had to step back due to family issues and transitions. We're deeply grateful to those who served faithfully, including Reverend Javier and Reverend James Coble Komodo. This year, it will be very important to recruit new members to the strategy team. There is folks on the strategy team that will be rolling off, and it will be important to have new leaders that want to be a part of that team. And so we're recruiting folks, and if that's something that you have bandwidth for, that you feel called to, that you would like to help lead, that you are interested in, that you are curious about, that you want to create some good trouble, we would love to hear from you. And again, as others have said tonight, you can reach out to Stefan or myself or other leaders on the strategy team. So in terms of the budget overview, the strategy team slate that we are presenting for 2026 budget proposal, the 25 and 26 budgets, you've seen those. And Dr. Rose mentioned, as did others, that our goal for 2026 is to raise 55% of our income from our membership base and 45% from private foundations. You've heard some of the working committees also challenge us, even here tonight, to go home and think about how can I get this campaign kicked off by maybe giving up a Starbucks or two and putting it into this kind of work. The significance item for your attention tonight that we are proposing is this individual increase of a donation amount that we've mentioned. Last year, One Wake set a goal to raise $50,000 from our individual donor campaign, and we raised $47,000, which was matched by Metro IAF of $35,000 match total. Let's give ourselves a hand for that. So this year, we'd like to increase that $47,000 goal, which was 50, and we got 47. This year, we'd like to make the goal $60,000. And we would like to see that happen through individual donations, as is mentioned, and Metro IAF will match that again up to $35,000 for reoccurring gifts. And that's an exciting goal. It's a goal that we feel like with not too much effort, we can do it. Can we do it? Can we do it? And can you get someone who wasn't here tonight to also be inspired to do that? That's what we've got to do. It's critical, as we've said, to increase our ability to organize, and that takes another paid full-time organizer. This is the way that will be necessary, including building power by adding more institutions into One Wake. We've set a goal internally and in our last Leaders Caucus to really shoot for 70 to 75 institutions total inside of One Wake. And we mentioned that we're going to get after the 5 institutions that right now are a little sleepy. Between that, we feel like this is another goal that we can do. You've heard the strategies to do those, and this is very important work. We need your help. Let's do it together. The last thing I want to say tonight is that inside of these powerful proposals that we've heard, I invite us to remember that power concedes nothing without a demand, and prayer must always move us forward in action. Let's commit together to growing our impact, to strengthening our base through organized people and organized money that are trained and ready to go and active in that work. And investing in this work, because what we build here tonight truly has the power to transform Wake County and make it from what it is to what it should be. Thank you, and God bless you. Becky Showalter is going to come up, and she's going to give you an opportunity to sign up to every city and county meeting you can think of. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Becky Showalter. I am the core team lead at Church of the Nativity Episcopal Church in North Raleigh. As Royce mentioned, I've been asked to discuss sign-ups for city and county public meetings. The city and county elected officials have public meetings throughout the year. These meetings are to share with the public and openly work as well as vote on decisions that will impact us and this county. We have heard specifically from elected officials that the presence of large groups like One Wake can have an influence on decisions that are being made. Therefore, these meetings are extremely important for us to show up to, preferably wearing our t-shirts, which are for sale here today in the back. And if you choose not to wear the shirt for any reason, that's fine. Your presence is the most important thing. Last year, we asked that folks show up by core teams to these meetings. This year, we are asking that you simply sign up individually as an individual who is willing to attend. We will then send you a list of all the meetings for the next year's calendar so you can choose what works for you. Of course, we ask and hope that you will look to turn out others to attend with you. You can sign up to volunteer to attend these meetings on the sign-up sheets on the back table or via the QR code during the breakout following this. I'd now like to invite up Mary Kentz with instructions for the breakout.
Whew, I don't know about y'all, but that's a lot of talking and planning. And now we've kind of reached my favorite part. I am Mary Kintz. I'm from St. Paul's Episcopal Church, part of the core team there, and also on affordable housing campaign strategy team. Just a quick aside, why is this my favorite part? Because, you know, in organizing, we don't have organizing without actions and reactions. And so we've had a lot of talk about actions that are available, and now it's time for us to react and act. And so if I could really just call upon you to give me your attention. I'm going to get to the favorite part of moving around. We're going to gather as institutions in just a moment. But before we get to that moving part, I want everyone to pay attention. And if you're watching online, don't tune out yet, because this is the part that really matters, okay? This is where we're going to commit to what we are actually going to turn out and do, okay? So if I get your attention up here, here's your instructions. And someone should take notes, okay? During the breakout, we ask that you, first of all, work on a pledge to attend the Cary Candidate Assembly this Saturday at 10 at Cary Presbyterian Church. We ask you to also agree or disagree on ratifying the budget. We're going to also ask you to agree or disagree on our proposed 2026 strategy plan. And we'd also like you to share with us how many people from your institution can show up to one of these city or county meetings. Okay? So those are the 4 items we're going to come back and report on as institutions. But before you break out, all right, not only that, but I want you to really, this is the opportunity to think about what research team you might want to be a part of, and find the people that are here before you leave, okay? Also, if you could help us out by checking at the back to see if your institution is current on its dues. We need to make sure that we get those dues payments in as soon as possible. And lastly, there's a bunch of QR codes in the back. The QR codes to get on the list for donations. I mean, the Cary Assembly signups are out there. If you need help, there's plenty of us around that can help you. Aim your cell phone at that QR code and figure out what it's going to take you to do, okay? So in just a second here, find a place for your institution to gather. You want to pick a spokesperson that will come back up and report out. And you want to answer for me, how many people are going to come on Saturday to the Cary Assembly? Do you approve of the budget? Do you approve of the action plan for 2026? And how many people can you get to help us cover these city and county council meetings? All right, as we say in coaching, break, 10 minutes.
All right, one more minute, and if you'll have your spokesperson start lining up here to report back. Alan, I'm going to give you. Alan, can you take the mic and go to the center and then hand it to the next person when you're done? But I'll announce it first. All right, everybody, it's been 10 minutes, so we will hear back from the spokesperson from each organization. We'll start with Alan.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Jones from Christ the King. Welcome. Stay as long as you would like to until they want to close the doors, and then we'll let you know. For our numbers, 15 for Saturday. Yes on the budget. Yes on the 26 strategy. And we have a number of members from across Wake County. We'll pledge 15 to each meeting that we can attend. So thank you.
And for him.
Now to Viola.
Hello, I'm Viola Huff from Pleasant Grove Church in Cary. Okay, we will have 4 that have pledged to attend the Cary Candidate Assembly on Saturday. And yes, we agreed to the budget for 2026. And there will be about 9 people who have pledged to attend city and county meetings from our church.
Hi, I'm Katie Robinson from St. Paul's Episcopal Church here in Cary. We will have 40 people Saturday at the campaign. We agree to the budget and the strategy, and we'll have 10 people attend the meetings we can attend, the community meetings.
I'm Royce Hathcock from Tapestry Church of Nazarene and Neighbor. This Saturday, we have a gigantic event, and we will not be able to attend on Cary. So all my Cary people, I'm sorry. But we're yes on the budget and agree, and we have a group of 5 or 6 people that will commit to attend meetings all over the county. Thank you.
I'm Carla Diener with St. Francis UMC. We have a church workday Saturday. We think we can turn out about 4 people to the Cary Candidates Assembly. We support the 2026 budget and the 2026 strategy proposal, and we'll get about 10 people signed up for the countywide meetings and get that turnout. Thanks.
I'm Nancy Dilger from the other St. Francis, and we pledged to have 8 people joining our Cary neighbors this Saturday. Yes to the budget, yes to the proposed strategy for 2026, and we will pledge 20 people will attend the countywide meetings. Thank you.
I'm Tim Lee with Good Shepherd UCC. We will do yes to the budget, yes to the strategic plan, excuse me. We have another conflict like Royce was just talking about Saturday at our church as well, but we'll have probably 10 people to the assembly, and we'll probably have 15 to the county and town meetings.
Good evening, I'm David Smoot with Southeast Raleigh Table, and we'll have 2 smiling faces at the Cary Assembly, so glad to do that. And we vote yes to the budget for 2026, yes to the strategic plan, and we have 18 people on our list on our core team. We'll have at least 7 at a city council meeting and county commissioner meeting.
My name is Rain Winslow. I'm from West Raleigh Presbyterian in Raleigh. We will have 2 people there on Saturday here in Cary, and then we vote yes on the budget, yes on the strategic planning, and we pledge to send about 10 to the various meetings that are coming up, city and county.
Hi, my name is Becky Showalter again. We also have a conflict on Saturday, so I'm afraid we can't send anyone to Cary. We agree with the budget, we agree with the strategy plan, and we pledged 20 people at city and council and county meetings.
I'm Boyd Rogers with Pullen Memorial Baptist in Raleigh. We are pledging 5 for the meeting in Cary on Saturday. We're yes to the budget and yes to the strategy plan. And we're also targeting 5 people for the countywide meetings.
Good evening, everyone. My name is April Wilburn on behalf of Baptist Grove Church. For the candidate assembly this weekend, we also have 2 church obligations already, so we probably will not be sending anyone, but core team will reach out. We agreed to both the pledge and the budget and the strategy proposal, and we pledge 10 people for the city and county meetings.
I'm Elisa Walper from Temple Bethor. Saturday was not a date that worked with most of us, although we have already shared the information with a lot of our Cary folks, and so there may be something out of that. Vote yes on the budget and the strategic plan. And our membership is scattered around the county in the different municipalities, so we don't have a specific number, but we hope that can be helpful in the covering of meetings.
Thank you. I'm Connie Orender with White Plains United Methodist Church in Cary. And we too have another major event on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. So we think we can bring about 6 people to the candidate assembly. And it's a women's event at church, so I'm going to really lean hard on the men to show up. But there'll be a few women there as well. We do agree to the budget for 2026. We agree to the strategy plan. We think that's a good idea. And the number of people from White Plains that we think we can get to a city-county meeting is about 6. And if you make it Cary Town Council, we can go higher. But for city council, I'm going to say 6. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stan North Martin with Raleigh Mennonite Church, and yeah, we're a little sparse as well. We're going to have at least 1 at Cary Town meeting on Saturday. Yes to the budget, yes to the strategic plan, and we will commit at least 3 to the city, county, municipality meetings over the course of the week.
Good evening. I'm Richard Jones from the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. This Saturday, it's hard to give a hard number because I'm caucusing on the phone, but we should have at least 3 here Saturday. We say yes to the strategic plan, yes to the budget, and for the turnout at the county and city council meetings, the ones we go to, we should have at least 4 to 5 people at the different ones.
Hi, I'm Jeff Whitaker, Church of the Good Shepherd, Episcopal Church on Hillsborough. We'll have 3 to the meeting Saturday. We really like the budget and especially the strategy, and we'll get about 5 people to the municipality.
Hi, I'm Nathan Bullock from Greenwood Forest Baptist Church here in Cary. We're expecting to have at least 35 people on Saturday, and we completely support the budget and the strategic plan, and we're going to commit around 5 people for the city-county meetings.
I'm Carrie McAvoy. I'm the assistant minister at UU Fellowship of Raleigh. We pledged 10 people to the Cary event this Saturday. We vote resoundingly for the budget and the strategic plan, and we pledge 15 people to attend county-wide meetings.
I'm Julie Page from Cary Presbyterian, and I'm sure we have at least 10, probably more, coming to the Candidate Assembly. We do approve the budget and the strategic plan, and we will probably have 4 that can attend the city and county meetings.
All right, let's give it up again for all those folks reporting out. I heard a resounding yes on the budget and the 3-phase strategic plan, so let's give it up for that too. And just to recap some next steps, join an action team if you're able, donate if you are able. Come on Saturday and be there to hear our candidates and to vote, and even if you're a Raleigh resident, to walk alongside those of us in Cary to the polls. And join the city and county public meetings whenever you can, and save the date for that January 3-day training, January 29th through 31st. Those are some of our next steps as a group. Let's close in prayer tonight. Gracious God, we give you thanks for your presence in this room, for the energy, and for all the folks here, God. Help us as we need you to order our steps in the world that we're living in, God, in the time that we're living in, God. Help us collectively to make a change. Help us to organize people, to organize money, and to create power and demands for justice in our neighborhood in Wake County so that we can live in a more equitable and peaceful world, God. It's in your name we pray. Amen. And go in peace.